Let me start with something uncomfortable but true. Most men are training their bodies to fail in the very act they want to master. You won't hear this in commercials or locker rooms because nobody wants to talk about it. But I'm a urologist. My job is to talk about it, and I've spent the last 15 years listening to men whisper the same question in my office. Doctor, what's wrong with me? I can tell you exactly what's wrong. It's not age. It's not genetics. It's conditioning. When you first learned about pleasure, you didn't learn it in safety or awareness. You learned it in hiding, in silence, in shame. Maybe you rushed, maybe you clenched your jaw, maybe you did it before someone walked in. And every time you repeated that, you trained your brain to link pleasure with fear, with speed, with anxiety. Your body became a machine that's always in a hurry, and your mind learned that stimulation means stress, not connection. That's how it starts. Now, let's talk science, because this isn't just psychology, it's neurology and vascular health combined. When a man masturbates too fast or too roughly, he overwhelms the sensory nerves in the penis, specifically the dorsal nerve endings that transmit pleasure signals to the brain. Over time, those receptors become desensitized. Think of it like turning up the volume on a radio so loud that the speakers start to crackle. Eventually, even when you want to feel more, you can't. Meanwhile, the brain adapts. It reduces dopamine receptor sensitivity, which means it takes more stimulation to reach the same level of excitement. That's why some men can't perform with a partner. Their brains are conditioned for friction, not intimacy. I call it performance confusion. The body wants connection, but the brain is wired for isolation. Let's go even deeper. Every erection depends on nitric oxide, the molecule that relaxes blood vessels and lets blood flow freely into the erectile tissue. When you overstimulate or release too frequently without recovery, your body floods with cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol crushes nitric oxide production. It's like putting a kink in a garden hose. You can squeeze as hard as you want, but the flow just isn't there. That's why some men say, I feel desire, but it's not responding. It's not imagination, it's chemistry. Now, here's the hard truth. The problem isn't masturbation itself. It's how and why you do it. Healthy self-pleasure is slow, mindful, and body-aware. Unhealthy self-pleasure is frantic, mechanical, and disconnected from reality. I've treated men in their 20s who already show signs of vascular fatigue, reduced blood flow, weaker morning erections, duller sensitivity, and all of it came from years of what I call panic pleasure. They rush, finish, and move on, never realizing they're teaching their bodies to expect failure later. So, what's the correct way? Start by changing the intention. If you're doing it to escape stress, your body links release with relief, not joy. If you're doing it to explore and feel, your nervous system stays balanced. Use slow strokes, focus on breathing, and allow arousal to rise and fall instead of sprinting to the finish. That trains your pelvic nerves to respond naturally again. I know, nobody taught you this in school. You were handed a screen, not guidance. But your body can relearn. It's plastic, adaptable, forgiving if you start now. Let me show you what happens when you don't. The first sign of erectile dysfunction isn't failure, it's inconsistency. Some nights you're fine, other nights nothing happens. That's your nervous system glitching. Then comes anxiety. Will it work this time? That anxiety releases adrenaline, which tightens your arteries even more, and suddenly you're trapped in a feedback loop of fear and failure. That's when men reach for pills. But medication forces blood flow. It doesn't heal it. It's like jump-starting a dead battery without ever fixing the alternator. So before we even talk about any drink or supplement, you have to rebuild your internal system. The way you touch yourself, the way you breathe, the way you think about pleasure. Here's the simple truth I want every man listening to remember. You train your erection the same way you train a muscle. If you train it wrong, it fails when it matters. If you train it with patience, rhythm, and oxygen, it performs when you need it. You don't need guilt. You need awareness. And awareness starts with honesty. Let me ask you, when was the last time you actually felt the sensations without rushing? When was the last time you focused on your breathing, not the finish line? When was the last time you gave your body permission to feel instead of perform? Most men can't answer that. And that's okay, because you can start tonight. Now, imagine this. The way you've been touching yourself might not only be numbing your nerves, but also blocking your blood flow. The habits that give you temporary pleasure could be quietly taking away your long-term vitality. But don't panic, because the fix is simpler than you think. Let's get something straight. I tell my patients, an erection isn't magic. It's a complex reaction between your blood vessels, your hormones, and your nerves. When any one of them falls out of sync, the whole system stumbles. Most men think the problem starts in the bedroom, but it begins much earlier, in their arteries, their habits, and their minds. The first culprit is blood flow. Every healthy erection depends on nitric oxide, the natural gas your body releases to relax and expand arteries. When nitric oxide is strong, blood surges easily. When it's weak, the signal falters. Years of fast food, smoking, alcohol, and chronic stress slowly scar the inner lining of those vessels. The smooth endothelium becomes rough, sticky, inflamed. Cholesterol and calcium start to cling to it like rust inside a pipe. The result is sluggish circulation. You might notice colder hands, fatigue, slower recovery at the gym, and eventually weaker performance below the waist. What most men don't realize is that ED can appear 3 to 5 years before a heart problem. Your body is warning you that your arteries need help. Next comes hormones, the invisible fuel behind every pulse of desire. Testosterone is not just a sex hormone. It drives confidence, mood, and focus. Yet modern life is built to destroy it. When you stay up late under blue light, skip breakfast, live on sugar, and drown in stress, cortisol floods your system. Cortisol and testosterone can't coexist. One rises, the other falls. Sleep less than 6 hours, and your testosterone may drop by 30% in a single week. Add alcohol or processed oils, and production collapses further. That's why so many men feel tired, distracted, and unmotivated. It's not laziness. It's hormonal imbalance slowly draining their vitality. Then we look at the nervous system, the electrical highway that carries every signal from brain to body. Erections begin with an impulse, a simple command from the brain telling pelvic nerves to open the valves of blood. But the modern lifestyle keeps that system on lockdown. Hours of sitting crush the pelvic floor and limit oxygen to the nerves that control arousal. Constant phone scrolling bombards the brain with dopamine spikes until it becomes numb to normal stimulation. Add anxiety, performance pressure, and caffeine overload, and the nervous system swings between overdrive and exhaustion. You might feel desire mentally, but find that your body doesn't respond. That disconnect is not in your imagination. It's neurological fatigue. And finally, there's overstimulation, the silent epidemic no one wants to admit. I see men in their 20s who already struggle with sensitivity loss because their brains are wired for artificial excitement. They watch scenes their nervous system could never reproduce in real life, and soon, the ordinary touch of a partner feels too quiet to register. The brain demands novelty, intensity, and friction that reality can't provide. This is called porn-induced desensitization. It rewires the reward center so that real intimacy feels underwhelming. You're not broken, you're conditioned. Put all these pieces together, and you can see why pills can't fix it. Viagra, Cialis. They push blood where it needs to go, but they don't clean the pipes, balance the hormones, or retrain the nerves. They treat the symptom, not the cause. Over time, dependency grows. Each pill forces a reaction while your body's own mechanisms grow weaker from disuse. You might succeed tonight, but you're sacrificing tomorrow's natural strength. I tell my patients, your arteries don't just feed your heart, they feed your manhood. When those arteries are stiff or blocked, the most expensive drug in the world can't buy you genuine vitality. The solution has to start at the source. You have to rebuild the foundation: circulation, hormone balance, nerve health, and mental clarity. The good news is that the male body is incredibly forgiving. Arteries can repair themselves, nerves can regenerate, testosterone can rise again if you remove what's damaging them and supply what they need. That's why my approach is always holistic. We focus on lifestyle before medication. I've watched men in their 40s and 50s restore full function without a single prescription simply by improving blood flow and nutrient intake. So, how do you begin? First, support your circulation. Cut back on refined sugar, processed fats, and smoking. Move your body every day. Even a brisk walk increases nitric oxide naturally. Second, protect your hormones. Go to bed at the same time, keep lights dim after sunset, and avoid alcohol late at night. Third, free your nerves. Stand up more, stretch your hips, and breathe deeply to increase oxygen in the pelvic region. Finally, retrain your brain. Reduce screen stimulation. When you touch yourself, slow down, breathe, feel. Make your body the focus again, not the fantasy. When these foundations are in place, everything begins to change. Morning energy returns. Mental fog lifts. Confidence follows naturally, not because of a pill, but because the body is finally functioning the way it was designed to. But here's where most men stop, and this is where they miss the breakthrough. Circulation doesn't just depend on movement or exercise. It also depends on what you give your body before it rests. At night, while you sleep, your blood vessels repair themselves. That's when nitric oxide levels can recover. And there's one simple, natural drink that supports that repair process better than anything else I've seen in my career. It cleans the arteries, reduces inflammation, and allows your body to heal itself while you rest. Most of my patients have never heard of it, yet it's sitting in their kitchen right now. It's not a supplement, not a drug, and not a gimmick. It's a combination of natural ingredients that target the root of the problem, circulation. When I tell my patients to drink something before bed, they expect a supplement, a magic pill, or an expensive powder from the internet. But the truth is much simpler than that. I say with a small smile, the most powerful remedy for male performance doesn't come from a pharmacy. It comes from your kitchen. I've studied circulation for more than 15 years, and I can tell you this. When blood stops flowing freely, every system in your body suffers. Your brain fogs, your heart works harder, your energy dips, and yes, your performance in bed weakens. The good news is that nature already gave us ingredients that can repair this damage, ingredients that most men overlook. The formula I recommend to my patients is simple: 1 glass of warm water, a teaspoon of beetroot or watermelon juice, a pinch of turmeric, and a few drops of lemon. That's it. No secret ingredient, no chemical shortcut. Just a combination that wakes up the same process your body uses to stay alive: nitric oxide production. Beetroot and watermelon are rich in L-citrulline, an amino acid your body converts into L-arginine and then into nitric oxide, the gas that relaxes the walls of your arteries and allows blood to flow freely. When nitric oxide levels rise, blood pressure drops, oxygen delivery improves, and the vessels in your pelvic region, the ones responsible for strong, lasting erections, start working the way they should again. It's not a stimulant. It's a restoration. Turmeric plays a different, but equally crucial role. It contains curcumin, one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories known to science. Think of your arteries as flexible pipes. When they're inflamed, they stiffen and narrow, forcing your heart to push harder. Curcumin reduces that inflammation and cleans away microscopic plaque, making the walls of those vessels smooth again. The smoother the surface, the easier it is for blood to move, and the stronger your body's response becomes. Then comes the lemon, not just for flavor, but for chemistry. Lemon juice enhances the conversion of nitrates from beets into nitric oxide. It also improves the absorption of curcumin, ensuring the turmeric does its job efficiently. The acidity wakes up the digestive process, helping these compounds travel where they're needed most, into your bloodstream before you fall asleep. Warm water ties everything together. Cold water shocks your digestive system, but warm water opens it. It signals your body to relax, improves nutrient delivery, and prepares your metabolism for deep, restorative sleep, the time when your body repairs tissues, rebalances hormones, and restores testosterone. You don't need to boil it, blend it, or complicate it. Just mix these ingredients, drink slowly, and let your body handle the rest. The key is consistency. Every night before bed, this simple habit rebuilds what stress, sugar, and age have taken away. Now, let me explain why bedtime matters. During deep sleep, your body activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and repair mode. That's when testosterone peaks, blood vessels relax, and cellular repair accelerates. If you give your body the right nutrients before that process begins, you multiply the effect. It's like sending construction materials to a repair site just before the workers arrive. You're not forcing the body to perform, you're fueling its natural ability to heal. Within a few days, men often notice subtle changes: better morning energy, clearer focus, and stronger, more consistent blood flow. It's not a sudden miracle, it's gradual restoration. Each night builds on the last, repairing your inner network of arteries and reawakening the body's natural rhythm. I tell my patients, it's not about getting results overnight. It's about rebuilding the foundation you lost. Most of them spent years damaging their circulation through stress, processed food, and poor sleep. It takes time to reverse that, but it works because your body always remembers how to heal when you stop fighting it. And here's the part most men find fascinating. This same drink that helps your performance also protects your heart, your brain, and your energy levels. When blood flow improves, oxygen delivery increases everywhere. You think clearer. You recover faster. You feel alive again. What helps one part of the body helps them all, because circulation is life itself. But let me be honest, this drink alone isn't enough if you keep sabotaging yourself before bed. Many men do everything right during the day and then destroy their progress in the last hour before sleep. They scroll endlessly on their phones, flood their eyes with blue light, snack on sugar, or drink alcohol to relax. All those habits spike cortisol and crush nitric oxide production, undoing everything the drink is meant to repair. So I always say, if you're going to make one change, make it at night. That's when your hormones rebuild and your blood vessels regenerate. Give your body the silence, darkness, and nutrition it needs, and you'll be shocked at how fast it responds. Remember, this isn't about chasing pleasure. It's about restoring function. Your arteries are living tissue. They listen to everything you do, every bite, every breath, every habit. Feed them what they need, and they'll serve you for decades. Ignore them, and they'll remind you with every heartbeat that something is wrong. When you take this drink before bed, you're doing something simple but powerful. You're telling your body, I'm ready to heal. It's not a trend. It's biology. You don't need a miracle. You just need consistency, patience, and respect for the machine you live in. So tonight, don't overthink it. Pour a glass of warm water, add your beetroot or watermelon juice, a pinch of turmeric, and a few drops of lemon. Drink it slowly, breathe deeply, and let your body rest. Because when the lights go out and your mind quiets down, that's when the real repair begins. And trust me, if you stay consistent, in a few short weeks, you won't just feel the difference. You'll be the difference. Most men don't realize this, I tell my patients, but you can't heal if you keep sabotaging your hormones at night. The body has a perfect repair system built into it, yet almost everyone works against it without knowing. Every evening, you get a small window of time where your brain, your arteries, and your testosterone all synchronize. Miss that window, and your body spends the night fighting itself instead of rebuilding you. The night is not for distraction. It's for recovery. Testosterone, nitric oxide, and growth hormones all peak between 10 at night and 2 in the morning. That's when your blood vessels regenerate and your nerves reset. But instead of helping that process, most men block it. They stay glued to screens, eat late, and drown their minds in noise. Then they wake up wondering why they feel weak, restless, or unmotivated. The first rule of my night protocol is simple: no screens 1 hour before bed. Blue light from your phone or TV tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime, cutting melatonin production and delaying deep sleep, the phase when testosterone is restored. 1 hour of screen-free silence can do more for your hormonal balance than any supplement you'll ever buy. If you must unwind, dim the lights, breathe, or listen to calm sounds. Your brain needs darkness to remember what time it is. The second rule is movement, but not the kind that breaks a sweat. I tell every man to stretch his hips and lower back for 5 minutes before lying down. Most blood flow problems begin in the pelvis, where hours of sitting crush the arteries and nerves that feed the reproductive organs. A simple hip opener or a gentle twist reactivates circulation, sending oxygen where it's been missing all day. It also relaxes the nervous system, shifting you from fight or flight into rest and repair. Then comes the third rule: no heavy food or alcohol before bed. Late-night meals force your body to digest when it should be repairing. Alcohol, even in small amounts, shrinks testosterone and blocks nitric oxide production. You might feel relaxed, but inside, your arteries are tightening and your hormones are crashing. I tell my patients, if you eat late, your body can't fix you. It's too busy processing what you just gave it. Finish your last meal at least 3 hours before sleep. Give your body space to focus on healing instead of digestion. The fourth rule is about presence. Take your drink slowly. Don't chug it like medicine. Treat it like a ritual. Warm water, beet or watermelon juice, turmeric and lemon. Sip, breathe, and visualize calmness as it enters your system. The more relaxed your mind becomes, the stronger your parasympathetic response, the state where blood vessels open, heart rate slows, and your body begins to rebuild naturally. You're not just drinking nutrients, you're training your nervous system to rest. Now, let's talk about what no one dares to discuss honestly: how you touch yourself before sleep. Most men use it as a release, not a reset. They do it fast, mindlessly, often while watching something on a screen. That trains the body to link arousal with speed and tension, the exact opposite of what creates real strength. I tell my patients, masturbate consciously, not compulsively. Slow down. Focus on sensation, on breathing, on awareness. No visual stimulation. Feel what's happening, not what's playing on a screen. You're not just chasing pleasure, you're retraining your brain to connect with your body again. Within a week, men who follow this routine begin to notice changes they didn't expect. They wake up feeling lighter, more focused. Their morning erections return naturally. They handle stress differently. Their confidence shifts from external to internal because they can feel their body coming back online. When blood flow improves, it's not just physical, it's mental clarity, emotional stability, and power you can sense in everything you do. I always remind them, you can't rush healing. The body doesn't respond to pressure, it responds to rhythm. Every system in you follows a cycle: the heart, the hormones, even your breath. When you sync your nights with that rhythm, the body rewards you with strength. The men who stick to this routine for 14 days see visible results. The men who make it a lifestyle stop needing me altogether. What I want you to understand is that you are not broken. You're just disconnected from the natural rhythm that once made you powerful. Everything you need, nitric oxide, testosterone, energy, is already built inside you. You just have to stop interrupting the process. So tonight, don't pick up your phone. Don't drown yourself in stimulation. Dim the lights. Stretch. Breathe. Take your drink. And when you lie down, let go of the noise in your head. Let your body take over. It knows what to do. Within days, you'll start to feel it, that quiet pulse of energy that used to define you. Within weeks, your strength, your drive, and your confidence will start to return. This isn't luck. It's not coincidence. It's the reward of alignment, of finally working with your body instead of against it. You don't need pills. You don't need another quick fix. You just need to give your body a chance to do what it's been begging to do: heal. So start tonight. 1 hour without screens. 5 minutes of movement. A light stomach. A calm mind. And that one glass of natural restoration. When you wake up in the morning and feel that familiar strength again, you'll understand your body never forgot. It was just waiting for you to listen.